Welcome back. Now, Gauteng home seekers will now have the option to either wait for an RDP house or they can accept stands to build their own homes on. Now, the provincial government says it is ready with the process, which is part of their rapid land release program, which was announced earlier on in the year. The province has the highest housing backlog with 1.2 million people recorded on the waiting list in 2016. And to tell us more about this, we're joined here in studio by the MEC for Human Settlements in Gauteng, Uhuru Moiloa. Thanks so much for coming through this morning.
Thank you very much, Sakina, and thank you for hosting me.
It's an absolute pleasure, and this is a very exciting development because for the longest time, many people have said in the event where they are able to help themselves, all they ask from government is to give them a piece of land on which they can build. So did that play into your decision to embark on this path?
Absolutely, Leanne. In fact, I'm feeling honored that history has bestowed a responsibility on me to be part of the team that should seek to resolve the land question in South Africa, in particular land for human settlement. So we are quite delighted that within the space of 3 months, we have been able to identify suitable land for servicing, and that very soon, before the end of August, definitely the Premier of the province will be issuing at least 3,000 service sites, which have been developed by our developers already. They are contributing to the Premier's program of rapid land release program. So before the end of August, 3,000 women in this province will get land, so that they can begin the process of building houses for themselves. So the process has started, definitely, yes.
MEC, where has this land been identified?
All over the 5 development corridors of Gauteng, the Western, in the Southern Corridor, Citibank region, Northern Corridor, the Tshwane region, the Central Corridor, and the Western Corridor, the Western region. We have identified portions of land across the length and breadth of the province for that purpose.
But looking at the backlog, and I guess, this is where it becomes a bit sticky. As of 2016, you had a backlog here in Gauteng alone of 1.2 million. And there's also, of course, the question of waiting lists, where people have been on waiting lists forever and a day. So how are you going to reconcile those waiting lists with now handing out these pieces of land to people who can build for themselves?
Sakina, there's a need for land revolution in South Africa. The land injustice needs to be addressed. I think it's a matter that has been suspended for resolution for too long a time. And if it's not resolved, it's going to create serious challenges for the country. And I can understand now that, the call for land justice in South Africa is beginning to make impact everywhere else. President Donald Trump is expressing a view about it in a negative way, though. I think he should come to South Africa, spend a night at Deep Slot in Alexander. He will leave South Africa understanding that the land dispossession of 6 April 1652 has left the majority of the people of this country landless, and as a consequence, we are paying the price for the levels of poverty, inequality, and unemployment that is characteristic of South Africa today. We need to address the land question fundamentally in order to ensure that every citizen in this country, black and white, feels that South Africa belongs to her. This is not about blacks, this is not about whites. This is about South African citizens entering into a conversation on how to address the legacy of apartheid colonialism.
Fair enough. But for those people who have been on a waiting list for an RDP house, who now may start to think, well, now they are prioritizing something else and we are still waiting for houses, how do you allay their fears?
The people that are in the waiting list for reconstruction and development program houses, as they are known, are my clients. These are the people that makes me not to sleep in the evening. These are the people that are a responsibility of government to build houses for themselves. We are not in any way shifting priority for these needy people. All what we are saying is that there is a good number of South Africans out there whose energy must be unleashed And these are the people that do not qualify for RDP houses. And we have just amended policy with the national minister to say that the beneficiaries of Rapid Land Release Program and Finance Leaks Individual Subsidy Program will be citizens that qualifies who earns 3,501 rand to about 22,750 rand household income. Now that is opening up a bracket of many South Africans that would use this opportunity just to access the land and build houses for themselves.
And with regard to systems, do you have a watertight system in place so as to make sure that someone who was not previously a beneficiary now comes out and takes another opportunity?
There's going to be a very tight, a means test. We are linking our beneficiary system with the people that are going to be invited to make an application. This week, we're actually beginning a process of mobilizing people for that purpose. So this 3,000 sites that the Premier probably in the next week will announce which area in Gauteng is going to be launching this. This is the Premier's prerogative. I'm not going to take his role for that matter. He'll make an announcement where he will be going. These are the kind of people that would be invited to present themselves. And once they've gone through the means test and they qualify, definitely they should be given those available sites. And this is the beginning of a revolution in South Africa to ensure that we change the culture of government shall do everything for myself. 1.2 million people in my waiting list. I'm never going to have money to deliver a house for everybody. And I'm inviting South Africans that can do things for themselves to be helped to do things for themselves. And this Rapid Land Release Program is exactly about that. Let South Africans be given an opportunity to use their energy, their creativity, innovation, and improve their quality of life. I think we're beginning to cross over from a culture of dependency into a culture of citizen responsibility, that people should take responsibility for their own lives.
Well, MEC, thank you so much for stopping by and shedding more light on this. And as he says, it is actually the Premier's prerogative to announce further details of what is to happen here. But at least you have a sense of what's going to happen in Gauteng, and no doubt others will have to follow suit. But we'll leave it there. Thank you so much to MEC Uhuru Moiloa for stopping by, MEC for Human Settlements here in Gauteng. We're going to take a break, and when we